Hey, hi everyone. Today we are looking at a paper from JUNYING. Okay, this is Sec 2 2022. All right. So yeah, for those of you who are preparing for your upcoming exam, all the best for you to you. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at these questions first, okay, one by one. I will only want to solve the harder ones, can or not? Now, as you can see over here, it says that it is given that P is equals to U squared minus V squared over Q. Well, I want you all to be very, very careful about this. Okay, always write it out first. P is equals to U squared minus V squared over Q. Am I making sense? All right, what's PP is what I want to find. U squared becomes negative 5 to the power of 2 minus away 7 to the power of 2 over 3. Is this something that you can understand? Very good. Okay, so P is equals to, now when I do negative 5 to the power of 2, it becomes 25. Let there be no confusion. This one is minus 49 over 3. Am I making sense or not making sense? All right, and therefore P will now then become negative 8. And therefore, this is your answer for 1A. Now, so for the second question, right, what you want to do is you must understand what it means to express V. Express V means V on the left. Am I making sense? I always tell myself, express V means V on the left. V, okay, and they want you to express it in terms of P, Q, and U, correct or not? That means my answer needs to have P, Q, and U, can? Okay, first thing first, you write out what they have given to you, which is P is equals to U squared minus V squared over Q. Am I making sense? Okay, then of course what you want to do is because we are going to express V, right? So I want V to be isolated. So what I will do is I will swap position and I will say that this is equal to P. Am I making sense? Then now what I will do is I'll bring the Q over, right? So U squared minus V squared is equals to PQ. Make sense? The question wants you to find what? V, right? Correct not? They say, hey, find V for me, correct not? Okay, so what you want to do is, of course, you want to bring the U squared over. Is that okay? Is that okay? All right. You want to bring the, or in fact, you can bring the V squared over, then bring the PQ over. Why? Why? Because I don't want my V squared to be negative. You get what I'm trying to say? All right. So what am I trying to really tell you is that I want to bring this over here and then bring this over here. Okay? So it becomes what? U squared minus PQ equals to V squared. Why? Why? I thought whatever I want to find, put on the left-hand side. Yeah, then you just swap position. Okay? Can you understand? Because whatever I want to find cannot be negative. I don't like. You get what I'm trying to say? Now, what you want to do is, of course, you want to remove the square, right? So you just square root this. All right, just square root this. Remember, wait, let me just rewrite first. Okay, square root this, and then you write U squared minus PQ. Remember, there must be a plus and minus. Okay, so therefore, V is actually equals to P plus minus U squared minus PQ, and therefore, this is your answer for this question. Now, the scale of a map is such that 5 cm represents 3 kilometers. Now, so what you want to do first, right, really is to write out first, okay? All right, I always tell my students, okay, because you see, in ratio, there shouldn't be any units. So you all must be very careful, okay? I write like that 5 cm rep 3K. I'm not saying like rep, present the rep, rep as in REP, which is represents. Then you want to get to 1 cm, right? So 1 cm rep. Okay, how do you get from 5 to 1? You divide by 5, correct? So over here, you also divide by 5. True. You get to 0. 0.6 kilometers. Am I making sense? Now, but always remember, n over here is in cm. So 1 kilometers is equals to 100,000 cm. Let there be no confusion. So 0.6 kilometers is actually equals to 60,000 centimeters. Am I making sense? So now then you say 1 cm rep 60,000 cm. Am I making sense? Then because they want it in ratio form, right? That means to say my units shouldn't be there anymore. So it's basically just 1 is to 60,000. And therefore, this is your answer for this question. Now, the distance on the map between a hawker and a nature park is 2.5 cm. Okay, so first thing first, you have to use the same thing, right? Which is 1 cm rep 0.6 kilometers, right? So you write down 1 cm rep 0.6 kilometers. Okay, rep means represent. Okay, so the distance on the map is 2.5 cm. So we are going to put 2.5 cm over here. What they're trying to ask you is 2.5 cm represent how many kilometers, right? So you just want to ask yourself, how do I get from 1 to 2.5? You just times 2.5. When I do something to the left, I must do something to my right. All right, so when I do that, what happens is that I will be able to get this question mark. All right, so 0.6 times 2.5 That gets me to 1.5 kilometers. Okay, they say the actual distance in kilometers. Did they ask you to convert to cm? No, they never, right? So therefore, this is your answer for this question. Okay, now, more importantly, it's actually C. C is the part where people struggle with the most, right? Same thing, 1 cm rep 0.6 kilometers. And again, they want you to find on the map, right? Now, but before you go on, right, I just want to remind you, there's a square over here. So you cannot just use this scale. You cannot just use this map scale. Am I making sense? You have to square it. So 1 cm, you square this. I say that again, 1 cm, you square this, rep 0.6 kilometers, you must also square. Okay? All right, so you get to 1 cm square rep. Okay, 1 cm square represents 0.6 to the power of 2. That becomes how much? 0. How much? Can you help me with the calculations? You will see that 0.2, okay, 0.6, I apologize, 0.6 to the power of 2. You get to an answer of 0.36 kilometers square. Am I making sense? Now, the question says 1.17, right? So you just put 1.17 kilometers square over here, right? Because this is the actual distance, all right? So on the map is how many cm square, all right? So very simple to find this itself. I will just have to use L method, okay? In case those of you who do not know what's L method, let me explain to you. L method means whenever I go up, I will divide. Whenever I go to the left or the right, I will have to multiply. Right now, all right? I'm going towards this side because I'm trying to find this question mark. True. So 1.17 over 0.36 or 1.17 kilometers square over 0.36 kilometers square. You see what happens? What happens to my kilometer and kilometer? I have to divide, right? True or not? So 1.17 divided by 0.36. When I do that, I'll get to an answer of 3.25 centimeters square, and therefore this is my answer for this question. Now, question number 7 talks about probability. Over here, it says that area spins a fair 5-sided spinner with numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. What is the probability? Means the chances of the spinner landing on an even number. Over here, you can see which is the even number. 2, 4, 6. Am I making sense? So there's a 3 out of the total, which is how many numbers are there? You can see how many numbers are there? 5, right? So that means to say a 3 out of 5 chance of the spinner landing on an even number. Okay, all right. Now, of course, once we know this, then we can move on to the next one, right? What is a prime number? A prime number means a number that is divisible by 1 and itself, right? If you cannot remember, just write down, all right? Practice makes progress. So you write down, okay? Over here, you write divisible by 1 and itself. I say that again, divisible by 1 and itself, right? Divisible, okay? So all you need to do is ask yourself, 2 can or not? Can. Why? Because 2 is 1 times 2, right? True or not? And what else? What else? 3? Very good. 4 cannot. 4 cannot.
5.
A prime number means I can only see 2 factors. Yeah, a prime number means 4 cannot. 4 cannot, because you see how many factors are there in 4. You get what I'm trying to say? Right, 5 can, because 5 is 1 times 5, right? 6 can, 6 cannot. You get what I'm saying? Correct. So I have 1, 2, and 3, correct now. So that's the reason why your second answer will still be 3 over 5. Can? Well, finally, C says the probability that the spinner lands on number 8. You don't even have 8. What is the chance of you? 0. No chance at all. Then any poo. Understand? All right. So yeah, that's basically how you would do a question like this. Now, for question 9, it's a graph question. Okay, I skip question 8 because I believe that is quite simple. Now, you can see over here, right, the question wants us to find what? The question says that the diagram shows the curve y is equals to x minus a, x minus b. Am I making sense? Now, the question says the curve cuts the x-axis at 2 points, which is a, as you can see over here, this is the one, right? Which is the x is here, which is the y is here. True? So that means to say this is 1. True? So you have to make sure that 1 is shown in your diagram, right? This is x, this is y, this is 5. Am I making sense? Okay, now they want you to find the value of A and B. What is the value of A and B? The value of A and B is this one over here, true or not? Right, so the value of A and B is very simple, right? You just have to say that for A itself, A is basically 1, B is basically 5, and that's about it. All right, so that is the first part for this question. Can you understand? Now, finally, we go on to the next one. All right, the next question says, now they want us to find the coordinates of C. Now, when I look at C, right, I know already C must have the coordinates of C, right? Has to be like that, okay? Has to look something like We don't know what is the value of y, but we know that the x definitely is 0. X cannot be anything else. X has to be 0. Am I making sense or not making sense? Okay, x has to be 0. Make sense or not make sense?
Makes sense.
So if x is 0, then you will just say x is equals to 0, x is equals to 0. Equation wise, can see or cannot see? And in fact, you all know what's a, right? Never mind. We write out first. So y is equals to 0 minus a. Sorry, what is 0 minus a? 0 minus 1 and 0 minus 5. Why is it x 0? Because this point over here, x has to be 0. Make sense? From here, 0 minus 1 becomes minus 1. 0 minus 5 becomes negative 1. Make sense or don't make sense? So y becomes negative is positive. True? So this becomes 5. Make sense? So your y is 5. True or not? So it becomes 0, 5. Right? And that is the reason why your answer for this question has to be 0, 5. Last but not least, they want us to find the minimum point, right? I've drawn something over here to show you that this is the minimum point. Can see? This minimum point, obviously, has an x and y. What is my y? This point over here. What is my x? I don't know, but I can find. True? Can I find x first? So to find x, it is basically the line of symmetry. So I have x and y over here, right? I have my x and my y over here, right? So my x is actually basically what? 1 plus 5 divided by 2. So 6 divided by 2 becomes 3. Okay? So I know already. Very good. This is basically 3, y. I don't know what is y. Okay, I don't know what is y. So now, because I know 3, I'm just going to sub x is equals to 3 into the, remember, into the what equation? The equation that was provided. Am I making sense? To find what? Let me just be more specific here. To find y. Am I making sense or not making sense? Right, to find y. So I look at the equation, which is this equation over here. All right, so I will just copy it down. Y is equals to x minus a, x minus b. Okay, y is equals to, what's my a? My a is 1, right? So 3 minus 1. What's my b? My b is 5. So 3 minus 5. So y is equals to 3 minus 1, which gives me 2. 3 minus 5, which gives me what? Negative 2. Right? Y becomes, because over here is multiply, right? So it becomes negative 4. So that's the reason why, right? The coordinates, you see, where's negative 4? Maybe I just show it to you. This point is negative 4. Make sense? So my coordinate becomes what? 3,
Negative 4.
Right? And therefore, this is your answer for this question. Hi everyone, if you like this video, you can click right here for a similar video, or you can view our playlist here.